Troy Gott here with MaritimeGardening.com. We're going to do another cooking show. And today I'm going to show you how to make hummus. As you know, if you follow my gardening videos, I grow a lot of garlic. This isn't garlic I grew. I ate all the garlic. I grew 100 heads of garlic this year. And they were all gone by the end of January. So we eat a lot of garlic around here. So there's lots of different ways you can use garlic in your cooking. But one thing we really like to do is to make hummus. And hummus is something that I can't speak to all parts of the world, but it's become a very popular condiment dip at parties over the last 10 years or so. And I think many people have the experience of, or at least I have, of going to someone's party and everybody brings some food. And people bring this little plastic container that they got at the grocery store with this hummus they bought at the grocery store. And it tastes like mud. It's not any good. So I don't understand why people buy hummus. It's very easy to make. It takes a handful of readily available ingredients if you're anywhere in the modern world. And there's no real mystery on how to make it. And you can throw it together in minutes using one of these thingies, right? Did another episode making mayonnaise with these, so I'm going to show how to make hummus just using one of these. Often you might think you need an entire food processor or something like that. You don't need that. You just need one of these and something to use it in. And you need oil. And what do you need to make? What do you need to make hummus? You need vegetable oil. You can use olive oil or vegetable oil, whatever you want. I just use plain vegetable oil. You need salt. You need a little bit of, for me anyway, I like a little bit of heat. So this is just chili peppers that I put in my coffee grinder to sort of powder it. Just like a hot, could use cayenne, you can use hot sauce, or you don't have to use it at all. Just a matter of how much heat you like. Some people like to put a little paprika in there as well. You need a lemon. What you absolutely need is you need salt, you need lemon, you need oil, you need garlic, you need chickpeas, and you need tahini or tahina. Right? It's a paste that's made from sesame seeds. It's almost like a peanut butter, I guess, but it's made from sesame seeds. So, and just a little tip, if you buy one of these big things, I mean, you're not going to make hummus every week, or maybe you will. I mean, you get tired eventually. But when you store this stuff, what happens is that it sort of starts to solidify on the bottom, and then you just can't get the stuff out of the bottom. So store it up upside down, and then if it does solidify at all, the solid part's near the top, and it's easy to get at and break up, and you can use the solidified part. It just coalesces and becomes like a hard cake at the bottom if you leave it like this. So if you leave it like this, and if you're using it every month and giving it a stir every time, I don't think that'll happen. But let's say you just get tired of hummus and take a couple months off, you might start getting this layer down here that will just not break up. So just store it upside down, problem solved. And there's different brands. You just have to find one. I usually just buy the cheapest one. That's what I usually buy. So let's get started here. Let's just do this from start to finish. I got everything laid out here, all my special tools and so on and so forth. So let's get at her. So to make hummus, you need some garlic. You need about 3 cloves that are about this big. It's, you say that clove is about width of my thumb. So this clove is about an inch high and an inch wide, So you need about 3, it depends on how much garlic you like, but I like it to be garlicky, so 3 good sized cloves. So like these 2 cloves are kind of wimpy, so I'm going to count those 2 as 1. And the rest of these cloves on this garlic aren't very impressive either, so I'll probably use another, oh, there's a half decent one. Maybe those, we'll see how that goes. And you just adjust all these things to taste, right? So I got my garlic here, and so all you gotta do is cut the ends off. People tend to get a little bit, I don't know, they act like garlic is this sophisticated thing you need a special tool process. All you need is an 8-inch chef knife to do just about anything in the kitchen. So you just give it a squish, right? Just Get quick at these things. Give it a squish. Then you use the back of the knife to sort of get the sort of separate the skins from the good stuff, right? Not that tricky. It takes a minute. Right. There's all the good stuff. There's all the bad stuff. Look at that. Clean it up later. All right, put that in the center. Do a little chop. That's enough. Because the whizzer's going to do the rest of the work. We put that in there. I wouldn't use a bowl if you're going to use one of these whizzer thingies. I'd use a measuring cup like this, something with a bit of weight. But that way you can sort of go up and down and move it around, and I find it's better for this than a bowl. There's a skin I missed. All right, so add to that you need a teaspoon and a half of salt. This is coarse pickling salt, and just like a heaping teaspoon is all you need. You can use, might even get a bit much. Basically a teaspoon and a half if you're going to measure it precisely. Or less, depends on how salty you like things or whether you've got some sort of air conditioner or whatever. But I find a teaspoon and a half is just about right for my sense of taste. So we got our salt, we got our garlic, now we got to put our onion or our lemon in there. You got to squeeze that out, but you also got to squeeze it out in a way so that you don't get the seeds. The last thing you want is to get seeds in here and then whiz them up with this, because they'll give it a bitterness that's just not pleasant. So the easy way to do that is get one of these things you can get at any dollar store. Actually, I think I get this from an Asian grocery. It's a little bit more sturdy. I find you can get a lot of really good cooking implements at Asian grocery stores. So you throw that over there and you squeeze your lemons. Right? You can use some sort of, here, my tool here. You can just use your hands, right? If you want a good hand workout, right? That's fine. Or if you can, I found this at a place in Canada here called Value Village. It's a store that sells used things. People just drop used stuff off there and they get a coupon for like 10% off, and then they can buy other used things. So it's like a perpetual yard sale, and you never know what you're going to find. This thing here looks like it was made like by an industrial arts student or something like that. It's, you know, got all kinds of little flaws and imperfections. But it's the only one, actually, you can see here the part that holds the hinge together is a bent nail. Anyway, I've owned a lot of these, and I've broken all of them. All of them break. Plastic ones break. If you're going to buy one of these things, I don't know what these are called, lemon squeezer thingy, buy one that's really made of heavy metal. Because if you get a plastic one, it's going to break. If you got any kind of strength at all, it's going to break. I don't care what. I've broken so many of them. This one I've had for about, I don't know, 6 years, hasn't broken. Your inclination would be to cut the lemon in half, but I find quartering it is better. You can get more, you can apply more pressure to it if it's been quartered. So let's just do that. Don't squeeze too hard or it'll go all over the place and in your eyes. And this thing has this thing has holes in the bottom. It's supposed to keep the seeds from coming out, but I find that once in a while, if the seeds are really tiny, they'll find their way through anyway. So I just use this sieve as a backup, plan B, catch-all. All right, juice of 1 lemon. If you don't have lemons and you're just using lemon juice, about a quarter cup of lemon juice is about right. I think the recipe, this isn't my recipe. I got this recipe from Googling Alton Brown. I used to watch his cooking show, Good Eats. And it's just about one of the best cooking shows I've ever seen. For me anyway, the kind of detail it goes into. And also, I just find any recipe he has, the combination of ingredients, he must have an excellent palate. Or he has one just like mine. I don't know if mine's excellent, but it certainly, if his, whatever he says to do, if you do that, it's going to be good. So these are his proportions. I think he says 5 tablespoons of lemon juice. But I found about a quarter cup. I just like to keep things simple. Quarter cup of lemon juice. You need a quarter cup of lemon juice, a quarter cup of water, a third a cup of tahini, teaspoon and a half of salt. And I don't even think he calls for the heat. I just like it, so I put a pinch of hot stuff in there. Anyway, I'm going to get some water right now. 1/4 cup of water. Get rid of this guy. Put a pinch of hot stuff in there. Don't stick that in your eyes or anywhere else precious to you. And now we need a 1/3 of a cup of the tahini. Just make sure this hasn't thickened at the bottom. No, we're all good. All right, let's put that in there for now. So 1/3 of a cup. And yeah, I'm using a dry measure cup. That's really important for baking. When you're cooking, it's not quite as important, although some might disagree, but I don't care. So 1/4 cup of that, that's all I need. The only reason I'm doing this recipe is because I don't know anyone in my personal life that knows how to make hummus, right? Except for a handful of, I know a handful of people that come from the Middle East. They know how because they're, it's a traditional thing, and they're, in their family they have a family recipe. It's just a regular thing, right? Like in my family, everyone would know how to make mashed potatoes, right? But everybody else, people that like hummus, no one seems to know how to make it. And it's not a mystery. So then you put your chickpeas in. This is 2 cups of chickpeas. If you want really good flavor, get the dried ones and boil them and do it from scratch. I just find they carry a better flavor than the canned ones, but today I'm using canned ones. If you want to know the actual measurement, it's 19 ounces or 540 milliliters of chickpea, but basically 2 cups, about right. Okay, I think we got everything. Oh, we forgot the oil. Yes. So 1/4 cup of oil. You need that. There we go. That's it. Now you just get your whizzer thingy and go to work. So let's have at it. Ooh. That's the other thing. Don't ease it in. It just went all over the place. Start with it in a little bit. You don't want a huge mess. But it actually comes together fairly quickly. You're just sort of massaging it like that. Just working through, just keeping eye contact and just trying to get all the little bits pulverized into a nice smooth mush. This is a bit easier to do with a full-size food processor, but then you got to clean the food processor. Also, like a good full-size food processor, like this massive Cuisinart, which probably weighs 20 pounds, which lasts you probably your lifetime. They're so well made. These cost a lot of money. This is like, I don't know, $250 food processor, right? So not everyone can afford that. And it's easier in a lot of ways. You throw everything, you turn it on, you wait a minute, it's done. But I'm trying to show how to do this if you don't have all that. Even if you don't even have one of these things, you can do all of this with a fork and a bowl. You can, if you dice the garlic up really finely, you can smush all those peas up with a fork or a potato masher or something like that. You can do it. Now, you won't get as creamy a texture unless you really work at it a long time. But given that these are relatively speaking inexpensive, right? These are probably, this is like a $50 tool that probably lasts you a good long while. This is, oh my goodness. I bought this in 2007, I think. So it's 11 years old now. Doesn't seem to have any signs of slowing down. I don't know all the brands out there. This one's, I don't get any money from these guys. It's a Cuisinart. I don't know what particular model it is or whatever, but it's heavy. You can just feel, you pick up different ones of these. Some of them seem light, some of them seem heavy. This one's got weight. It seems to have some, serious components. I would recommend one of these. Anyway, just work away at it until you get it all to the consistency you like. If you like it creamier, add a bit more water and oil. If you like it, thicker, don't put quite as much as I put in with the ingredients. All up to you. Do it the way you like. Okay, I think that's about right. All right, so let's just clean that thing off. I'll show you what sort of consistency we got here, just so you can get a sense of that. I'm gonna grab a spoon here. Make sure it's unplugged before you do this. Otherwise, outside of the risk of injury, you could just wreck the thing. You don't want to do that, because you take care of this thing, it'll last quite a long time. Really easy to clean too. All you got to do to clean one of these is put it in a container like this with hot soap and water, or just run it around and it'll clean itself. So that's my sort of thing. I wouldn't put this just pops off. I wouldn't put this in the dishwasher, because there's gears inside there, and I don't know if you can or you can't. I never have. I'm really not aware of what the proper things to do is, but it seems to me that since there's gears inside here, I don't want to have this in a dishwasher where that can become compromised. So you don't leave this in the sink. You just wash it right away after you're done using it. And yeah, it's not hard to clean. You don't have to go in there and muck around. You're just going to cut your fingers off. Just put it in something like this, put some hot soap and water in this, plug it in, and it'll be clean. It's kind of like magic. All right, so there's our hummus. Let's give you a sense of the consistency here. Where's the camera? All right, so you put the spoon in, hold the spoon upside down, like that, right? You get a heaping spoonful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think that's about the right consistency. That's what I like. That's what guests seem to like. That seems to work. If you want to present it in a fancy schmancy way, you just put that in a nice bowl. And let's see here, get that in. Another thing, I would be very, when you're serving this to people or just enjoying it on your own, be very choosy with your pita bread if you don't know how to make your own. If you're having guests over, we're lucky in Nova Scotia. There's a lot of Lebanese bakeries here, and they make beautiful pitas. But you want fresh pita, right? You want the pitas to be fresh, because that makes a huge difference, right, in the flavor. Put that in there, give it a little shake, and then you can use a fork to give it some sort of texture. You sort of go in circles and go around. It depends on how fancy you want to get. Tastes good. Some people take a little paprika, sprinkle that on, give it a sort of nice fancy look. And a lot of times people will drizzle a little bit of nice olive oil over the top. Like so. Just gives it a nice nice look and nice appearance. So there we go. Nice bowl of hummus ready for a big party. I'm not throwing a big party. My kids really like this stuff, so it's a great. If you can somehow get your kids to like hummus, then you're laughing, because it's it's a relatively healthy food, relatively good for you, and considering the alternatives, I think better than a cheese dip, especially if you're completely lactose intolerant. It's much better than a cheese dip. Yeah, so let's give this a try, even though I'm going to mess up my beautiful appearance here, but let's give it a try. That's how you eat pita bread. Your fingers never touch the dip, right? You sort of put it in and fold it over like that. Just right. And of course that'll taste better after it's sit a little bit. All the flavors will meld. Let me fix this up so my wife doesn't know I was into it. Not bad. All right. Done. I think this recipe has just the right balance. It's a bit salty, it's a bit spicy, it's a bit vinegary or acidic. It's got the stick to your ribs goodness of tahini, and it's got that nice, fill your belly starch of the chickpeas. So I hope that was helpful. I hope that gave you some ideas for options, and I hope after watching this you'll never buy hummus again. Stop eating inferior hummus. Learn how to make it yourself. Use some basic tools. Learn about a few basic ingredients and stop buying lousy hummus.